I don't make gear videos anymore. Partly because it gets a bit like, Tim shouts at cloud over customer service. And I got a lot of negative feedback, and I'll talk about the reasons later. But very recently, I've just had a product with a dangerous flaw, which I know it's like, oh, clickbaity words, clickbait alert, clickbait klaxon. It is actually quite a dangerous flaw. So we'll see later in the video what that's about. Firstly, we have to talk about YouTube, and we have to talk about GearTube specifically. Yeah, we really have to talk about YouTube. A lot of the people who are creating videos, especially the bigger YouTubers, are doing undeclared paid promotion. I suspect they are. It's hard to prove, but again, it's not totally hard to prove, because as soon as you start watching gear videos on YouTube, you start to notice patterns. You start to notice, and I'm my autistic mind, I see these patterns. And yeah, maybe everybody in YouTube, in the hiking world, has suddenly thought that Temu is the best thing ever. You're telling me that they all love Temu so much they had to make a video about it, and there wasn't any freebies and there wasn't any or paid promotion behind that. I call crap on that one. So haul videos, I think, are usually secret paid promo. Best of videos can be brand videos, reviewing a brand, a whole brand's range. Well, unless you happen to be very rich, you're not going to buy all that range yourself, so you've probably got it for free. Decathlon is one of those. I'm wearing a full class puffy jacket, the MT100, but I've had other things in there like merino hats, which was so thin it just didn't keep you warm at all. So it's kind of, I'm very skeptical of anybody doing a brand video where they say brand is amazing across everything, across the whole range, every single product. Yes. And who does brand videos anyway? Apart from Apple fanboys, people don't go and review McDonald's. They might say, oh, I really like the Big Mac, or I really like this, or talk about the history of these companies. Thank you. But you should see a little paid promotion in the corner. Every time someone has a freebie from a company, or they're paid to promote something, they should do that. And a lot of channels are not doing that. And they even say in the video, this is a freebie, and it's not the case. And in the US and Canada, as I understand it, any freebie is deemed to be a paid promotion, and obviously paid promotion is paid promotion. In the UK, it's a bit different. You have a threshold of a certain amount of subs you have to get to, and it still applies. And I think the thing that clued me into it is not only the odd video like Luke of Outdoor Gear Reviews talking about the best of videos and how those are usually paid promo on the quiet, but also the Flashbulbs video about all of the paid sponsorships he gets asked to do, and also the problem of actually lying for money, or how if you're reviewing gear, what the rules are about that. So that's a good video to check out. There's a lot of hidden paid promo, which you won't get on this channel, because this is all coming from my dwindling savings, and I am 100% independent, no sponsorships, no advertising. Ironically, the negative reviews are bad for me, because I usually flog the gear that doesn't work for me on eBay, and so when I'm like going, oh, it's terrible, and then I have to try and sell it on eBay, I have to be rather honest that it's not totally, it might work for you, but And the second reason is And this goes out to the people who are already saying, this video could be 3 minutes long. This point is for you. Negative responses. I've been getting a lot of pushback over the Flextail Pump video, the Crag Hoppers and a few other videos, because I feature negative reviews, because I'm not in the pay of some company. I mean, eventually I'd like to make a living out of it, but I'm not doing this to enrich another company. Because I tell it like it is, and because I, say what my experience is, I get comments like people are attacking me for having trouble with a pump bag in the Flextail pump video, even though that's got nothing to do.
Well, like, oh, you can't even use a pump bag, you're a useless idiot.
Oh, so I am an idiot who doesn't know how to use a pump bag, okay.
Well, that's got nothing to do with the pump, which is very simple to just switch it on. I don't know, did they even watch the video, some of them? I don't know, because comments about, oh, you took it off before it finished. It's like, no, you could see in the video that it switched itself off and then I removed it. So it's very strange. There's been a lot of that, a fair amount of that. And I have to say, the people who are going to comment this video, oh, you did it wrong, you were walking wrong, oh, you used it wrong, oh, it just happened to you, maybe it was a complete fluke, oh. That sort of stuff. I would say, please don't comment, and please don't, I don't want that kind of audience. I don't want that kind of audience that expects some kind of instant gratification for 3 minutes and then out. I'm trying to develop a community here, and a positive community as much as possible, sort of short, transactional, gear tube. That's not what I'm doing. So then it comes to the final point, which is expectations. People expect you to be Linfold's Wood. Potential death trap. Write a white paper on why it doesn't work. And I've seen it in other videos and I'm impressed by it, but look at the name of the channel, Hard Up Hiker. I can't afford to buy multiple pumps to check to see if the previous one was defunct. And I wasn't really feeling like getting a replacement, to be honest. After my dealings with Flextail, they're a bit strange. And, or testing lab, and I don't have any of those things. I think people expect some kind of scientific process when it's always been about whether it works for me. It might be different to you, but it's all about the sunk cost fallacy. The reason for the negative feedback is because they are bothered that someone dares say that they're precious. My precious is somehow, defunct, or their favorite company or whatever. Maybe even their favorite sponsor. That as well. I've actually commented on other people's things about, oh yeah, this is what's good about this, but this is not what's good about, and the comments have disappeared. I'm not going to go all over the mass conspiracy, but there's a lot of this going on. There's a lot of astroturfing and money, and I think a lot of payola happening about, flogging certain things, because it's like the pump, the Flextail pump, they were giving freebies to everyone. They didn't want to give one to me. They're giving freebies to everyone. Of course, they got all these positive reviews. And then people like me started going, meh, is it really? Really? And they stayed very quiet on that. Maybe I should have given them a right to respond. Shush. 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 But then this happened. What's happened? Well, I've talked about in the other videos about how the Saucony 12s, which done me very well, 14 months and took hundreds of miles, needed replacing because they started leaking, and the rock plate fabric had started coming out. Actually, it's coming out from that, when they're very worn down and they're starting to leak, and it's like, oh, fair enough, these things have a finite life. I was a bit disappointed. I was hoping for more like 500 miles like Liam Brown had, but hey, we're not the proclaimers. So I bought the 13s. All seem to be going well. They seem to be well manufactured. They seem to be, comfortable. They have a bit more padding. They seem to be quite nice. And I got them, I could have bought another pair of the 12s. I really wish I had now. But, I was like, oh, well, let's try supposedly, because one of the issues of the 12s was there's a little bit low on padding, and there's an issue that with the back of them. This bit, which I had to repair, the plastic heel starts to slice through the fabric and into your foot. So I actually put some, extra padding on there, some heel grips, which is one of the tips. Use heel grips. So I thought, oh, I'll get the 13 because they're apparently better. And all seemed to be well until on the South Downs trip, I did the first sort of 35 miles in them on trail. And then I got home. I didn't notice anything when I was using them, well, strangely. Although one of them seemed to be a bit leaky. I think it might have been this one. The water was getting through and I thought that's a bit strange. And then I found in the heel, something sticking all the way through the heel, sticking through. And I initially thought it was a nail. It was that hard to begin with before I pulled it out. I thought, oh, is that a nail? Oh dear, I've wrecked my new Saucony 13s. And then I pulled it out with some pliers and found that it's just a piece of wood. It was just a thorn, and probably a hawthorn, but only 1.5 centimeters. But it had gone all the way through the shoe into the padding. And it's a good thing I was wearing the padding in the shoe. Some people don't do that. They go a bit hardcore and super lightweight. And it's a good thing it was because it went straight through. And if it had been maybe 2 centimeters or an inch long, it would have gone straight into my foot.
The problem is it leaves a big hole in my sole. Not my sole theologically, but my actual sole on the outside.
The first time I've used them, first 30 odd miles I'd put onto them. Wow, it managed to get past the supposed, rock plate. Because in the soles, it's the very bright coloured thing. That's actually a sort of a strong mesh fabric to stop the stones going through. Now, what actually happened is, you can see from the soles that there is a large area here which is not got the hard rubber or the rock. Well, they call it a rock plate, but it's more like a rock fabric. This seems to be a problem with the design of the shoe. That it, as you can see from these two, and I'll do a close-up, is that there is this big area, which is also in the 14s as well. So I think this affects the Peregrine 14s as well. So there's a big area which I thought must have a bit of protection. And on the older shoes, it was a very small strip. So you'd be very unlucky to have something hit there on the little strip. But it's much more easier to hit on this big strip. And it turns out, no, there is no protection. That is just rubber or cushioning. So you stand on a sharp rock or a sharp piece of twig, it will go straight through. And that's what happened. I spoke to Saucony about this, and their response was, I spoke to them a week ago, and I will update this video to actually respond. I gave them a prod yesterday and forward the email to their CEO or their, brand president, I think he's the CEO now, Rob Griffiths. When I do these videos, people go, oh, have you contacted the company? I did this time. I did on the Crag Hoppers video as well. And, I'm trying to sort out a return of these shoes because unfortunately Sport Shoes wants me to send them back. Even though I've got pictures and things, they want me to send them back and then not have the shoes for ages. And then they faff around and they might just say, oh, we'll just use a misuse or something. And then, and then I don't know what happens then. Maybe I have to pay to get them back. I don't know. While that happens, I won't have these shoes because I temporarily glued it up so it doesn't leak, although I'm not sure how successful it is. I can still see the holes. So, that is not great. So it means I don't really trust these shoes at all anymore now. So, hey. These are so annoying. People are commenting on how loud they're squeaking. Don't buy Saucony 13 GTX, kids. Yeah, crap. Oh, and I forgot to say, new shoes. The replacements came. But yeah, unfortunately, they sent me the same shoes as a replacement, which I'm not happy about because I actually asked for a refund or the previous version. But let's hope they don't squeak. I have my doubts about this. I suspect they're probably going to be like the old ones. And of course, they still have that vulnerability, so yes. Well, it gets even better with sportshoes.com. They said that their customer service would take 4 to 5 days to respond. So I did it just before I went off on the district trip. I didn't get back to it for 4 or 5 days, thinking, well, they said 4 to 5 days, whatever. And in the meantime, they'd opened up a a customer ticket, said, "Do you want, this needs to be returned to us," then closed it because I didn't respond within 24 hours or 48 hours. That's not so good, because the customer service should be, okay, sorry about that. Here's you've got pictures and proof of this. We'll send you a replacement pair. No, it's all like we have to send it back, and because they know that you'll just get, I'm going to use a swear word there, but they know that most people won't bother. They know that it will just put most people off. Now, I'm only doing it because I've got this channel, and actually, if I was dealing with it without the channel, I would probably just glue them and fingers crossed that they don't do that again, and they don't leak where I've repaired them, because I use some contact adhesive, Gorilla contact adhesive, so hopefully it'll stay. But so yeah, that's not so good from Saucony, or it's a brand that I really do respect, because these lasted 14 months. These are brilliant. I really wish I bought another pair of these. These seemed brilliant until they failed within the first 3 days of use on trail. And I think these are dangerous for people, because I think they need to know that this bit is not protected at all. And the irony is, Saucony's been sending me emails about the 14s, which is how I know that they seem to be a similar design on the sole. And they're saying, trusted on any terrain and protection for your feet. They're not protection for your feet, because, all it takes is a bit of a stick and it'll go straight through. So I think people need to know that the Saucony Peregrine 13s and 14s are not as safe as you would expect. And certainly they're not the protection for your feet that they pretend to be. If you found this video useful, like and subscribe, and check out this review I did of the Flextail pump that I mentioned earlier. May as well put it in here. Yeah, let's have all the negative videos together. And if you're going to post a negative comment, please don't. I will speak to you soon, hopefully in happier circumstances.